What's up, world? It's your boy Ma. We're moving up, where we build, we help, and we impact for the glory of God and for the good of those we serve, man. My educators, man, I'm back with another one for y'all, man. Some of you have been paying attention to the posts that I've been making, and if you recall, there was one post I had where I was talking about one of the myths that educators can fall into and believe that prevents them from showing up and making an impact the way that they're capable of making an impact. That myth number one that I shared was the myth that you gotta be the cool teacher in order to make impact. Man, review that video, check that video out, man. If you haven't seen it yet, got all the details in there. But today, myth number two that I want to address is that you have to know children in order for you to make impact. What? I bet some of y'all thinking, man, that's great. I'm in school. I'm working with kids. Yes, I do need to know kids in order to make impact. And I want to submit to you that there's a difference. I've been talking about it a little bit. I'm going to dive more into it later. But there's a difference between impact and influence. In order to make impact, you don't need to know and understand kids. You need to understand you. Making impact begins with you knowing what your superpowers are. How do you show up when problems come into your environment, into your orbit? Are you somebody who is a go-getter and a problem solver? Are you somebody who don't like conflict? Like all those things. How do you show up your most authentic self when you're interacting with people? Are you somebody who is expressive of your thoughts, your ideas, your feelings about certain things? Are you somebody who's more reserved in terms of your expression of those things? Are you a person that likes to move quickly and get things done? Are you one that like a little bit more slower atmosphere and environment when you're working and flowing? Are you somebody who, man, you just all about rules and protocol, and those things are great and they have their place? Or maybe you somebody that like a little bit more flexibility in your environment. Understanding how you show up will help you understand how best you can make impact in the lives of young people. You know what I'm saying? And so, man, get in that self-awareness, understanding what are your strengths in terms of as an educator? What are your strengths as a communicator? What are your strengths as a teacher and a problem solver? What are your strengths? And when you understand what your superpowers are in those areas, and sometimes even more importantly, understand what your superpowers are not. Because sometimes we'll try to show up, like I said before, the myth about the cool teacher. You'll have some teachers who will show up trying to be cool and trying to be, and it just comes across corny. It comes across not genuine. It comes across as inauthentic. And so, man, I want you to understand that if you want to make impact as an educator, if you want to make an impact in the lives of young people that you're serving and even their families as you connect with them, then you have to show up as your genuine and authentic self. Because when you do, you're flowing in your best self. When you show up as genuine and authentic, you are showing up at the best version of you that you can possibly show up as, man. And so, man, I want you to understand, begin to identify what are your strengths, what are your superpowers, and what your superpowers are not. Because when you flow in your greatest strengths, then you will make the greatest impact.